Hey now, how's everybody doing tonight? Thought I'd hop on here and do a little live stream for everybody. Talk about the state of affairs in the world. What's going on exactly? There's a lot going on. Mainly, we're all about to blow each other up. Over fucking nothing. Over fucking nothing. I mean, honestly, we figured out 80 goddamn years ago that you could take little rocks that you find in the ground for free. I mean, with a little effort, with a pickaxe and whatnot, you can find these little hot rocks that are always hot. They're just always hot. You stick them in some water, they boil the water, you pressurize that and turn a wheel, you get free electricity. But, everybody had a problem with that. They didn't really want these hot rocks fooling with their games of the world, their globalist games, their things that they wanted to do to try and control and get everybody to fall in line with some kind of dumbass fucking globalist game, right? So now that's why we have the Strait of Hormuz situation. We got all this fuckery about because people 80 years ago decided that it would be better to immolate families and children instead of having actual American sovereignty. Now, America is not the only one that deserves this shade. Russia, too. And even fucking India. And Pakistan. There's all kinds of countries that long ago could have attained their own energetic sovereignty without having to rely on OPEC, on the Strait of Hormuz, on Iran, Iraq, on the entire Nation of Islam itself. But no. We decided, as a collective, I suppose, or the Illuminati, if you believe in that bullshit, that we are supposed to fight over oil, dinosaur juice, if you will, and that is the superior intellect of humanity, that we're just going to fight over this black viscous liquid that is deep underneath the ground instead of using these cool tiny little hot rocks that you just toss in a bucket and it boils and you get energy out of it. For some reason, they had a massive campaign to convince everybody in the entire world that this is far more dangerous than World War III. What a fucking crock of shit. What a bunch of dumbass bullshit. Why do we, as human beings, as sapient, upright, walking individuals, just abide by this? Why do we think that this is the superior form that humanity should be embodying on a daily basis? I don't know. Maybe someone out there in the comments can tell me. Maybe somebody can pop in here in a live chat and fucking explain this shit to me, because it doesn't make a lick of goddamn sense to me. I hate paying $6 a gallon of gas when I could have had a little packet of uranium in my car that would have powered that son of a bitch for 10 years on, just like an aircraft carrier. Why does the Navy get to have this technology and you and I don't? Why don't we get to enjoy the glamour, the splendor of living on the edge of human knowledge? We are relegated to living in a time 100 years ago. We're not allowed access to the most advanced, cutting edge, bleeding technology that the human mind has to offer. No, you need to go work a fucking minimum wage job, be a wage slave, fucking figure out taxes, and go through the labyrinth of bullshit that society offers you in order to just exist. However, 80 years ago, we figured out a way out of that. We could have had trains that are 6 lanes wide, delivering everything where you don't have to fight a fucking tractor trailer driver that's hooked on meth playing Xbox in his fucking cab while he's hurling down the freeway at 70 miles an hour. No, we decided that was better than having just an infrastructure that makes sense, that's robust enough to handle all the needs that the American people require for their lifestyle. I'm not saying that we need to go back and be Amish. I know there's a lot of people out there saying that type of bullshit, and I do not in any way, shape, or form agree with that. In fact, I'm pretty pissed off that I wasn't born on Mars or Alpha Centauri. Why aren't you? You should be. You should be calling your grandpa up and saying, hey, you old fucker, why didn't you push harder for us to be in the stars? Why are we fighting over dinosaur juice? Why didn't you see the writing on the fucking wall and do something about it? Everybody sound off in the comments in the live chat and you tell me what you fucking think about that, because to me, I'm pretty fucking pissed off. I'm pretty upset about the future that was robbed of us, of the dreams and the possibilities and the entire whole other timelines that we could have experienced if only we would have embraced our sovereign fucking spirit and our technological innovative minds of this mixing pot that we all call America. America itself is a grand idea. You know, I heard the other day a friend of mine say that America is a Christian nation. I said fucking bullshit. It is a fight between atheists and religious people, which makes it so great. That's in fact what made Star Trek so great. You know, Gene Roddenberry was an orgy-loving, liberal, hippie, so-and-so, something or another. But with the blend of the corporate American machine and the Republican Christian dynamic that controlled CBS Studio at the time, it created a nice balance in between conservative and liberal values, which made Captain Kirk so fucking iconic. That was our future. That was American. That was what we all needed to see. But no, we decided to go ahead and just fucking sliver fuck all that shit and slough it off into the liberal fucking elite, crazy, absolute fucking brain dropped people to be in control of the narrative of our nation. We stopped trying to have a dynamic. The dynamic is what made this nation great. It's like you take a drum and you stretch it across a frame and you play a song out of it. If you don't have that tension, you don't have the sauce. You don't have the music, you don't have the beat, you don't have the fucking tempo. And therefore, we're all fucked because we're not interested in that tension anymore. Everybody wants to take a screwdriver to the drum and stop the music. The music is what keeps us going. The tempo is what keeps us cool. And the fucking innovation and the argument and all of the fucking in between is what makes America great. It's not one side. It's not the other side. It's the two sides fighting for control of the center. And that's where the music is made, baby. Well, you know, I'm kind of tired of all this fucking bullshit, of this he said, she said bullshit. In my personal opinion, I think politics has just become a giant worldwide wrestling federation sort of game. You got your faces, you've got your heels, you've got your champions, and you've got your fools. And we're all bamboozled into thinking that these people up on stage know more than you or I. That is not true in any way, shape, or form, ladies and gentlemen. We have access to the internet. We have the ability to critically think for ourselves. We have the ability to have access to the entire human library via the internet and make up our own minds and freely speak about these things. Yet, we don't choose to do so. Why? Now, that's a great question for the fucking philosophers in 1,000 years. We're just fucking bitching and moaning about certain Instagram models, certain attention-getting vampire people. We're not really getting to the meat and bones of what is going on. Do we care? Are we bamboozled? Are we just distracted? I don't know. Again, these are questions for the historians of the future. But right here, right now, I would like to explore these things. I would like to understand exactly right here and now why we're fucking up so much. Why are we so hyper concerned with who controls the oil when we have burning rocks that we can just stick in water and get free energy out of? Yet we choose not to. Hell, we've even got a way to take nuclear waste and turn it into energy. It's called a traveling wave reactor, ladies and gentlemen, a traveling wave reactor. It takes nuclear waste and it burns it from end to end and creates free energy for you and I. And it does the bonus of cleaning up all of the toxic nuclear waste that we've accumulated over the past 80 years. Now, why is Bill Gates the only person pushing this? I don't know. But it's an important technology. It's a life-changing thing that would take your power bill down to probably $10 a month. You could charge your Tesla there for probably 50 cents a day. Yet, this technology is not being talked about. Let's talk about all the dead scientists. Why are there so many of them? Why aren't they alive? Who's doing this and why? Is there a fucking agency out there investigating this? Absolutely not. They're compromised. They're lying to you. And they showed everybody a picture of their kids getting off the bus from school and scared them straight into going along with the fucking hook, line, and sinker of the narrative that we all enjoy today. Why is that not being called out hard enough? I'm not really entirely sure. We're all fucking wound up about the Jews and the Muslims instead of the future of America itself. What in the holy fuck does the Middle East have anything to do with the future of America, the future of Russia even, or the rest of the world when we have discovered this magical, beautiful technology of little tiny rocks that you stick in water and it boils it and turns it into energy that you and I can enjoy? It's safe. It's a lot safer than what they claim it is. 3 Mile Island may in fact have been a fucking scam. Chernobyl may have just been a scare tactic to get us addicted to oil to play this stupid fucking game of hating each other for no good goddamn reason when there's an abundant amount of energy all around us. What is taking fusion so long? I don't know. You would have think they would have cracked that shit 40 fucking years ago. I remember in the 1980s, they're like, we're just 10 years away from fusion. Are you? Where the fuck is it, bitch? I got bills to pay. Everybody's dying and getting recruited into a fucking weird-ass vampire blood bank game where they think that that is the best way to spend their life and their time. Hold on a minute. My blood, right here in my veins, is sweeter than the next guy. Please drain me dry so that I can have a job. That other guy, he's not willing to sacrifice as much as I am. Look, I'll even get on a fucking cross for you and you can crucify me. Please give me a promotion. How in the living fuck did that become the standard that we all live by? I'm not entirely sure, but I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to try to figure those fucking answers out. If anybody out there is interested in doing the same, please like, subscribe, fucking leave a comment in the chat or whatever the fuck you want. Even a nice, pleasant fuck you would be welcome. At least I know you're still alive. So, moving on to the next topic. What's going on with men and women? Why don't they get along? Why aren't they trying to figure each other out? It seems like the best way that people are going about things is like, how can I fuck over that other person? How can I destroy their life? How can I make their life worse? How can I make them want to get on their hands and knees for me rather than figuring out a nice, peaceful coexistence? Again, it comes all back to the vampire people. There's a lot of people out here wanting to pin it on one certain group or religion or this and that. I don't think that's quite as accurate as what is actually going on. What's actually happening is that all throughout human history, certain human beings saw that, like, hey, we can bamboozle you. We can fucking lie to you. We can trick you into things. And it's not just white people and black people, brown people, or red people. It's all people. It's human beings. It's sapience itself. I'm sure there's dolphins in the sea fooling people that this is a great shell and that one sucks. Buy mine. And then it shatters after 3 uses. It's all a shell game, if you will. What we've got to do is band together as friends, as loved ones, as people that actually care, and figure out why, how, who, when, and where are we getting fucked in the ass. The most important thing that we could all do right here and now today is figure out how to help one another instead of fuck one another. But, with all our movies, our media, and cartoons as of late, it seems like the popular fucking way of going about things is this nihilistic, self-serving piece of shit attitude to pimp out everybody and everything for your own benefit and gain. I'm telling you, that's just a fucking cliffside that we're all going to fall off of and pile our dead bodies on top of each other in our last gasping breaths of realization that this was all fucked and we could have had a better way of going about it. But, that tends to fall on deaf ears. People don't tend to have the attention span to fully comprehend, think about, and suss out every nook and cranny of that argument. They're new and locked. They're too excited about pulling the lever on their so-called enemies instead of figuring out who is actually behind the curtain. So, does that mean when this shit hits the fan, we all actually deserve what is coming? Well, again, I leave that to the annals of history and the scholars of the future in the next 1,000 years. As they look and peer through our plastic landfills, they will probably ask and beg why. Why, oh why, did they not make their books out of plastic, but their water bottles instead that they drink in 5 seconds on a drunk Saturday night? That's a great question. You ever really think about that for a long time? Why do we make our trash last 10,000 years, but our greatest literary works are made of paper that will rot away into dust in the next 10? Unless you put it in a humidor in a precisely pristine, hermetically sealed area in the Library of Congress. Why, oh why, don't we write our books in plastic? We may never know.